We're getting ready. I think YouTube should be visible. YouTube, I hope it's visible. Let me find the video on YouTube because here we should be connected. Okay, I think now we should start being visible. Everything should be. Can you hear me? Why does this sound so bad? Let's see. Filters. I guess this is the only thing I can do with this. Let's open here, settings. If not, we have to continue with this. The other one is frozen in space. Okay, I think now should be better. Hi. Okay, now we have the good sound. And like yesterday, we're going to write and let's see. So we're going to be writing for the competition on November 26th. And let's start. I think this is not working as well as I would like it to work. But since we're doing this on YouTube and TikTok, okay, what do we remember from yesterday? But the TikTok is frozen, it's not working properly. Let's turn off all the enhancements. Let's see if that improves the quality. I don't know why it had enhancements to begin with. Let's see. This is my first time doing this through YouTube and TikTok at the same time. That's going to be one of the bigger reasons for why. Okay, they are off. Filters off. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to start and go ahead and work on it because this is the competition is in November and I want to get done with it as soon as possible to be able to keep writing my book. Let's start. My name is Zen. I'm a writer. This is my first book. Yes, as I was saying, my name is Zen. This is my first book. I write romance, fantasy, and how to apply it to. I take life stories and I add some romance and fantasy to it to create new stories. I focus on romance and fantasy because I believe that everything is a romance, and if it's a book, it should be fantastical. Not that other books are not um, worthy, but I feel like there's already too much reality, even though I like books that are grounded in reality too. But this is what we're going to be writing, to focus on something. But these same principles can be applied to your preferred genre. Let me share these. Let's see, where is this? Let me remove this from TikTok. I think I'm going to remove TikTok because it's not working. Oh, thank you very much for being part of the test group. Let's find, let me share this. Let me paste. Okay, we're going to go ahead and, oh, I should bring the coffee. Before we start doing anything, let me bring the coffee. Why is this not? Why is it that I cannot hear you? Actually, I'm going to just remove this. Okay, let's do something. I'll be back at the end. I need that. We're getting some coffee, and now we're getting serious. Now we're getting serious. You know how it is. Once I tell you we're getting serious, we're getting serious. We're getting some coffee. Coffee here. Let me remove this here. Okay. We're going to open that here. No, I don't have YouTube in my iPad. Oh, since I haven't used it in so long, I didn't have it. Okay. Then what we're going to do is do this on TikTok. We're going to do it through the phone, old school, and everything else is going to be done like we do it. So wait. I know I'm doing something that I'm about to do something groundbreaking. I know it. I know it. So let me cook. Let me cook, okay? Now, is it going to work? Okay. This is 2 angulos. And then you can, no, like that doesn't work. Oh, perfect. Now we got it. We're slowly getting there. I know it's a little bit of a pain because I've been 15 minutes. I've been for 15 minutes here. But we are doing it slowly. We're getting there. But we are... Okay. Now, is it working now? Yes, I think it is. I'll have to put this one on this side, I think. So this is here. I'm going to do this really quick. I put this one here. Oh, almost. This here. And we're almost ready. Because this is the first time I'm doing this like this. So you have to bear with me. You have to bear with me. This is a struggle for you and it's a struggle for me. So hey, what day? What day? This is art. Okay. I think I'm ready. Okay, I think we got it. Hi everyone, we're going to start doing this. Why is this doing this? Come on, listen to me. Listen to me. Why don't you want to listen to me? What did I do to you? Okay, now we are on it. We're going to do a small summary of what we're writing, why we're writing it, and all that stuff. Let me see if I can put you here and still. Yes, that works. That works, that works. So this is what we are going to be doing. We have I'm a little bit like excited about this. So the competition is for news. I haven't even checked the page. I just saw that the competition was happening. Hey, Manuel. Hey, Alice. Thank you very much for joining. The competition is happening in. Hey, if I do like this, and I do like this. Like that. In reality, this one I don't need it like that. So it can stay like that. And this from here. Hey, Bazu, Kevin, thank you for joining. Bazbu, Imaginarium, Taikosa, Althea, thank you for joining. Everyone, this is very exciting to like do because I need less sound. The competition is the 26th. So we're going to be writing today as much as we can. We're going to try to get this done. Sorry for that. We're going to participate in this competition by the end of the month. We should have it mostly done, so we can use November to clean the writing, to clean the story, decide if we want to add things or not. And so far we have decided that we are writing a dark romance based in urban fantasy with hints of horror and Halloween. So there's some things that we've already added that might not work in the future. We're just adding them because it helps us build up the story. So we're going to start with what we have, what we know that we need, and what we know that we want in our story. Once we have all those details of the things we want and need, we can start telling the story properly, because there are some elements we know that to enhance the narrative experience of our story, we need to add them. And the others that if it was another type of story, it would be awesome, but for this type of story, it would be convoluted. So we're going to slowly take those steps to create this bigger narrative, because every story is the same story. Even though it sounds like different, every story is the same. Every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. What makes it different is the characters involved in that story. So you don't worry if someone has your idea or if someone's going to steal your idea, because at the end your own experiences are going to change that. And the better you write, the more unique you are. Not unique, but if you're capable of taking the things that people already like and making them unique to you, bam, you got it. So we're going to advance with this story, and we're going to be writing first of all, let's see how far did we get. We wrote the plot, and now we can start adding what the characters need to do, because these are the things that they need and that they need to get done. And it's a bit, like we were saying yesterday, it's a little bit vague. We're going to make it more specific when we start writing the squares. Fiery One, thank you for joining. Good Trouble, that's a great name. So since we have a dark romance, we just decided that it was going to be a dark romance. So what characterizes dark romances? That they take traits that we deem unlikable or unwanted in today's society, and we create or we build in characters that in this case mostly women is the demographic for dark romance, but it's not only women that enjoy that genre. So there are some elements that are going to be common in every dark romance, like we were saying, like the fact that we have an MC that's morally gray, not morally gray actually, that's actually bad. And then we have a romance. So it's someone that falls in love with something that they shouldn't. So that's where the conflict of dark romance arises. So let's write that down, because knowing these things will help us make a better story. What makes a dark romance dark romance? Like we say, a dark romance is conflict between love and reason. Falling in love with someone / something that is bad for you. So if it's a dark romance, at the end, what makes a dark romance is that, not if it ends up good or if it ends up bad. It can be a dark romance with a tragedy. It can be a dark romance with comedy. So the dark romance just makes reference to the elements that the story needs, and that's what we're adding here. Let me make sure that this is well placed. There we go, much better. Okay. Whoop. So we have, yesterday we talked about the 7 plot lines, and we decided that this was going to be overcoming the monster. Of the 7 different type of plots that American audiences enjoy, because these you have to write for the people you want it to read. Who do you want to read this? This is mostly for the West, because the West is the one that buys and sells the most amount of books. So if you want to sell books and write books that people want to buy, you have to do it for the public you want. And you can also always write some books in a way that's more experimental, and then some books that are or stories. Don't put yourself in a box, because you have the chance to write many types of stories, many different type of things. So don't put yourself in a box. And thank you very much for the likes. Don't forget to share. Thank you, Xavier. Can you believe that one of my characters is named after you? Well, not named after you, but you share names. So where's the something that's bad for you? What else is a romance? They end up together. So whatever, because it's a romance, even if the romance is a drama at the end or a tragedy, it still has to be a love story. So we have the, did I put this? And okay, we have it's a dark romance. We have imbalance of power. Imbalance of power. And tropes and genres say something by themselves. High fantasy says something about the type of writer that writes high fantasy. Lower fantasy says something about the type of writer that writes lower fantasy. So the type of books you write, you're leaving a little bit of you in it. In this story, when we're talking about dark romances, if you don't acknowledge somehow, Kelly, thank you very much for joining my team. Yes. The imbalance of power, if it's not addressed in some way within the story, for many readers from the outside, is going to feel a little bit alienating. That happens to me personally. If I read a book that has these characters and everyone's like, oh, that's just fine, I'll be like, with this writer. But in knowing that this imbalance exists will force you to write a little bit differently, because the imbalance of power will change the way a character acts or is. Because a bold character in a world where they have been given everything, that says nothing. That says, okay, they're just given. But a bold character that has had to fight to be bold, that says a lot in the story, and says a lot about what the writer believes about people that grow up in harsh environments. So we have imbalance of power. What else can we say in a dark romance? If we have a male and female romance, where is that power going to be imbalanced? We can see it as magical power. So now we can start creating those connections. Now we can we can make a impossible love story. We can make a haters to lovers. Mm, we can start adding tropes to a don't add too many tropes. You can add two tropes per, actually, three tropes for the main genre, two tropes for the secondary genre, and one trope for the last genre. If not, it will be convoluted. The thing with tropes, they last 2 or 3 beats. The good thing about a short story is that your trope can be big, as big as you want. If this was a big story, we would need those many. But now with a short story, too many tropes will make it too convoluted, and you can't develop them. So it will be too much telling and not enough showing when you are writing. So when it comes to the time to add tropes and theme, we let the story bring those up, and then we'll enhance them by adding the tropes. So that can happen later. And what does urban fantasy need or say in terms of society? And if we don't know, we can check it. We can always Google. Let's see. What does dark romance say about society? Mm, it's passionate love, forbidding transgressive elements. See, these are things that are forbidden. What's the what's forbidden, and how do we feel about things that are forbidden? That's what dark romance is. So what does a urban fantasy, mm, it's social commentary. So that's the thing about urban fantasy. Urban fantasy gives you the chance to talk about what's going on in society, and say it without using humans. So this imbalance of power can be a reflection of something happening in society, but twisting it so it's not so judgmental, quote unquote. So you can tell what you want to say without pointing at a person and making them feel the target, but still talking about them and about what they're doing or saying. So with urban fantasy, what a society issue we're trying to talk about? It's a romance. So it has to be something related to relationships. What's something in relationships that can be an imbalance of power? That it can be economical. We can see, to make it more relatable, what are the most common imbalances of power in relationships? And demand withdraw, distance pursuer, and fear shame. Uh, you see, now we can start investigating, and we choose what's most close to us. What do we have experience with? If you have experience with the distance pursuer, write about that. How one character, through your own experience, who are you in this story? And if you learn something from it, don't put yourself as the victim, as, oh, poor me, I don't know. You need to say something with your story, not just self-loathing. And we're going to learn or practice how to do that, so we can write things that people want to read. Mm, let's see. I know I'm using, let's see, demand. The demand withdrawal dynamic occurs when one partner is the demander who seeks change and discussion and is in constant search of a resolution to issues within their relationship. Meanwhile, the other partner is withdrawn, seeking to avoid the issue, according to a study published in the journal, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then the other one is distance pursuer dynamic. Occurs when one person, known as the pursuer, tries to achieve and maintain a certain degree of intimacy with their partner, the distancer, who considers this affection to be smothering. The fear shame dynamic is often an unconscious culprit of relationship troubles, as the fear and insecurity of one partner will bring out the shame and avoidance in the other, and vice versa. I really like this one, the fear shame dynamic, because it's very easy to fall on it. According to Dr. Steven Stonsny, the vulnerability of fear and shame is influenced by many different variables, such as hormone levels and traumatic experience, which can make this dynamic particularly difficult to get out of. To separate, to separate researchers from of negative power imbalance in relationships, Dr. John Gottman and E. Mavis Etherington concluded that couples who are seemingly stuck in one of these three negative power dynamics were at very high risk for divorce. Okay, I'm going to choose the fear shame dynamic. And let's go back to our story. A power imbalance, fear, fear, shame dynamic. So how does the fear shame dynamic happen here? We can decide. We can see, since we know the things that have to happen at the beginning, how does this dynamic, let's explore more about it. Fear shame dynamic is a power dynamic in relationships that can turn bitter and even aggressive. It happens when one partner is afraid and the other feels as if this fear is an attack on their own character or abilities. In the fear shame dynamic, fear avoidant behavior in one partner triggers shame avoidant behavior, a withdrawal in another, or vice versa. This dynamic is often triggered by an unconscious fear shame dynamic. That's really interesting. May play in one or both partners, insecurities or emotional pain. So we cannot solve this issue in a short story, but we can talk about it. How does it appear from the point of view of friends? How does it look from the point of view of, so let's see what else can we, let's investigate, because the more we learn about it, the easier it will be to write about it as well. No, I hate this. I hate this. I'm hating this experience so much. I don't want to use Bing. Where's Google? Let's see. Damn, can you just let me? Okay. Let me just, okay. You do whatever you want. You do you. You don't want to open the image, don't open it. You know, what can I say? If you don't want to open it, how can I force you? Come on. And since we were talking about learning coping mechanisms, then we can start checking how to restore balance. 3 negative power dynamic. Fear, shame. Yes, we already know these. Mm. Mhm. Maintain open communication, reflect, share power, open communication, self-confidence. Then let's see, okay, I think I know a slight idea of how we can do this to make a fear shame dynamic the power imbalance. So in urban fantasy, since we have one that's a succubus, as a creature that takes energy through succubus power, and we have another one that's the werewolf that has a lot of energy. They both have fear and they both feel shame, but for different reasons. So we can start writing that what's the fear of someone that's, for example, because we have one character that could kill the other one with their, so it can be it has, how do I say this, this story has the potential to represent different things. For example, yes, we, like we were saying the other day, intimacy, that through the shame of one's emotions, jealousy. Let's write about, we can write about that. Jealousy can be this character being powerful but still feeling ashamed for feeling jealous because they should be this powerful character that owns this powerful family, but because of their decisions to just love this one, that's, now we have a complex character. Okay, let's write that down before we forget. MC was their cycle of shame. See, shame cycle comes from the idea that they should be strong and confident, but they feel jealous from their loved one. So when we talk about the character, they are these, but at the beginning, we have to show how they are driven by these emotions. Because at the end, the story is not about overcoming them, but how these emotions are affecting them. And within the story, even though they're not like resolved, because they have to keep working on it. They both have different issues, and his is that one, like we were saying, no, the shame of his emotions, because he should be emotionless. He's a succubus. Emotions are aside. Succubus, emotionless, but his emotion for the werewolf. And then we have the the love interest. Oh, wait, because we haven't finished. We're going to be adding things as we think about them, so we don't forget, but we're going to put the things where they need to fit. So since we're showing fear shame dynamic, we can talk about jealousy versus confidence. What else can we talk about when when discussing fear and shame in a relationship. Let's think about other things that what could it be? For example, if we have jealousy versus confidence, so jealousy versus confidence. What oh well, we can continue. We know that to make a Halloween story, we need it to be around Halloween. Around Halloween, important dates, like we said. Around Halloween. So what happens around Halloween? Let's think. What else? Around Halloween. Costumes. What else? Pumpkins. Because this is a story for the West. This is holiday oriented. So we have horror. And what else happens around Halloween? Friday 13th. That's an important date. Even though Halloween happens at the end of the month, Friday the 13th makes that Halloween even stronger. So we know that. What's another thing what does Halloween say about? It's black magic, being scared, and yeah, let's leave it like that for now. And we know that jealousy and confidence are going to be strong elements in the story. Then we have the female character, because we know that the MC, that's the succubus, and this is what was happening with them, blah blah blah. And now we go to the werewolf. What is their shame, confidence struggle? The fact that they're this powerful character too, but society have told them that this character is bad, so they are ashamed of their power. Werewolf ashamed of their power, and because of the shame makes them be shady, and this triggers and jealousy comes from weak characters, the witch. So now when they make the deals can be more related to these storylines. So when the MC makes the deal with the witch, what does he want? To be emotionless, because they have emotion. So they want to feel less, to be able to be with someone that hides what they're feeling. Then with the werewolf, what do they want? What does the werewolf want? They want asks the witch to make them weaker. So they are both changing who they are to be able to be together. But that's not what they want in reality. At the end, what they want is one to be open and one to be accepting. But to be able to do that, they have to do it. There's no one else that can. That's where the conflict comes from. That's why they're hiding. Then the witch takes advantage of that situation. So now that we have this detail, we can start writing more things down. And you see how the story slowly gets more and more meaning, gets filled in, and it takes a really good shape. So the MC, so MC asks the witch to make them emotionless to be able to be with the werewolf. Then if that's what, then the werewolf asks the witch to take her power and will take the power to make her weaker. And that's why they both, the death at the end is a metaphorical death. They die inside. The dark time in this dark side, let's write it here. Metaphorical death. They die inside because they change who they fundamentally are, to fit each other. And bam, perfect. And this story slowly taking this great shape. I think it's starting to sound. Hey Trisha, thank you for joining. I think it's taking a great shape right now. Let's give the people from IG Live the chance to join us as well. Let's see. No. Okay, that's going to be a no for now. Why is it not working? Well, I guess not. Well, sorry, people from Instagram, you're not going to be able to enjoy it. How long have I been here so far? Almost an hour. But yeah, almost an hour. So we can start plugging in the things if we want it, because now we have a more solid idea of what's going on in the story. Everything has to happen in a span, cannot be very long. This cannot be a 2-day event. This has to be short. Sure. It can be long, but the story we tell here has to be short. So I didn't realize I had this here. Control X, and we come back here and we do pam pam. Then we take this one, Control X, and we come here and boom, and that's it. Okay, it's in Chicago. What part of Chicago is it in? That's the next question that we need to make ourselves. If we're in Chicago, where in Chicago? Because that will change the type of story. I only know the bean, so this is going to happen right underneath the bean in Chicago. Under the bean, a metallic structure in the middle of Millennium Park. I say in the middle, but because it sounds good, not because it's really there. So now here we have the themes, the conflict, and now we know that one of the themes is jealousy versus confidence, and then we need a sub theme, something that's going to be, well, I'm going to need 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. Okay, so we have jealousy versus confidence, and the other subplot that's going to help us pull the story in another direction is going to be what's something that comes with also jealousy and confidence. What are other issues that come with it? For example, the name is going to come to my head at some point. It's this one is going to be more personal. This one is going to be a little bit more personal. As we said, we're going to use personal issues to make this story work. Jealousy and confidence is something that I've also struggled myself. So this story is going to feel very personal from every single character's point of view, because now we know what's it about after putting together what story we're telling. And jealousy and versus confidence, and trust versus intimacy, because we say that the other issue is going to be that one of the characters doesn't, or that the other character is shy, is ashamed of, we say, let's see, of their strength. The other one is ashamed of, if each character trusted the other and told them how they were really feeling, nothing of this would have happened. So we have the great story happening in the big scheme, how the family business, blah blah. But then we have the real story underneath, that's about them wanting to be with each other despite not knowing how to. So now we have a story for the masses, for the people that live in the story, and then for the intimate story that's about the main characters. So what's the thing with the antagonist? That's the witch. We need to tie in both stories. The witch is the connector. Many stories don't work because the other characters tell their own stories without connecting the storylines together, and that's the witch's job. She's going to, she or he, I don't care if it's a he or a she. So we have the witch. What's the witch intention within the story of? Well, she doesn't need to have any jealousy or trust. Not necessary. It helps if she does, but it's not necessary. Her story, as we said, is to connect the two storylines. So we have the story of the family business, and the story. Hey Isabella, I would love that. I'm going to follow you. Don't forget to DM me, and we can talk about it on live. So online, we can talk about it in another moment. What was I saying? Yes. The witch. She's trying to connect the storyline of the love story and the storyline of the family business. So how do they connect? First of all, they connect with the love story because they both ask the witch to help her, to help them. So what does she ask? Whatever she asked in return has to do with the family storyline. So she wants the power of the werewolf. Says, okay, then I'll make you weak if you give me your strength. That way I'll be able to make you weak. And it has to be the night of full moon of Halloween when the line is weaker. So we have now we have in a way to connect one part of the story. And why does she want to be stronger than the emotionless? What does that have to do, the strength, with the emotion from the succubus? Because the succubus has to become emotionless, and the and thank you very much, Teacher Bay. We have the emotion is a trigger. So since he wants to take the jealousy away, but jealousy is not just an emotion. It tells us something about ourselves, the things we care, not only the things we care about, but the things that worry us is our fear. It's not about you cannot be brave without fear. You cannot be vulnerable without vulnerabilities. So being jealous is a vulnerability, and sometimes vulnerability is ugly. And that's the thing that's a theme that we're going to use. It's not about who they are, but things that they have done or things that they're going to do. So the witch wants, on one side, the strength of this is something that they would be able to enjoy if they were trustworthy, if they were trusting of each other. Hey Vicky, thank you for joining my team. And we have this the jealousy power is going to be represented by one MacGuffin letter, and then the power of the wolf is going to be represented in another, and how they are connected. And once they are connected, we'll see what they do together, and that's going to be the power of the witch, and we're going to see how powerful they are when they combine their emotions. And then once the werewolf doesn't have their strength, and the succubus doesn't have their emotions, now they don't feel that connection, because their emotions, they were theirs based on who they are with each other. And without those emotions, the relationship gets damaged. That's where the idea of the metaphorical unaliving happens. And they come back when they get the strength, or when they get their emotions back, when they decide that, okay, I'm going to be vulnerable. That's what's going to change the course of the story. So now we have all these things that fit much better in the overall narrative. We have these things that fit much better in the context of the main characters and the overall story. Now we have the connection between both. Why does she want these two powers? Because with those two, she can control the family as well, because jealousy is a power that, even though the succubus don't talk about it, that's the issue, that they don't talk about it. So the MC thinks that he's the only one feeling like that, but in reality, everyone has it. The only thing that instead of talking about it, they just experience it. Hey, Stacy, thank you very much for joining. And thank you, Vicky, thank you very much for the bracelet team and everything. By control, and we discover at the end that, yes, once they are capable of feeling those emotions, and they share them together, when they find themselves on the other side, that strengthens them. But the thing is, they are not really dead, because we have the Day of the Dead the next day. As 12 hits, and she becomes this powerful creature, she overwhelms the other side. And that's when things happen. And we can see, if you were following me in other platforms where this is also being broadcasted, you'd be able to see the screens that have the things that I have on screen. I cannot show them to you right now, but they're there. Actually, I could show them to you. Let me do that. Let me show them to you. And I think I have it here. So if you can observe with me, we are filling up every square. We have seen the way this goes, and then we're going to put the story together, because what we've been talking is, let me flip the camera. What we've been talking about is it's not just things that you can find in stories, but also in reality. This is, I don't know why I started saying that. That's why I just continued with the with the sentence. But there's multiple going on here, and now we're going to start plugging in more things of the story. Now that we know more of what's going on, we can start writing things down. Control the family wealth with the jealousy power and the werewolf's power. And that's it. Okay, now since it's a short story, it cannot have too many elements. It's a short story. So we can start plugging the things in. and we'll go back. I'll be back tonight from 5 to 6 with the same story. In a bit, I'll log off to go write my other book. This is just a story. We're going to get together to write my book, and then we'll come back with this story later. So let's see what we can put in place. And if I forget, I always have this recording. So that's awesome. Yeah. So now let's plug in here on the plot the thing that we have the meet cute. It's not really a meet cute. Meet cute. No. Let's. Well, now we're going to call things more specifically. It's not just meet cute. The succubus performs a ritual to get rid of their emotions. This is represented as a pendant. It can be a combination of a pendant, of a necklace, and something else that when combined, they make like a symbol of love. So something like that. That way we can play with symbolism when doing this. And it can be emotions represented as let's say a ring and a necklace, and we move on because in a ring we already know this happens in a full moon, Halloween, after Friday the 13th, and we add the things later. The rest we'll add it later. And we go here and we say, what else? Why? Succubus wants to get rid of their jealousy because it makes them feel insecure. Ring and be confident, because this is going to be the lie. The lie is that he needs to get rid of his emotions to be confident. But what makes him confident is the fact that he has those emotions. So we're going to keep writing this, and the same thing is going to happen with the significant, with the love interest. And the story will take its shape as we continue, because things will go in its place. Julna and Mario. Julna and Mario. Vicky, thank you very much for the likes. We are advancing very, very fast, and I'm loving it. Okay. Let's see. Which ritual takes away the jealousy the jealousy. What is the jealousy? How is this good? Making the succubus more less, let's see, the succubus less aggressive, because shame, jealousy, yes, because we said it's shame, not just jealousy. That's where it comes from. Let me bring it off there. Jealousy, yes. And not just emotions, but shame. Shame. We're going to be very specific right now and then when we say how does this happen, we will be less telling and more showing. So everything has its steps. Making less shameful. With the witch is working with the church. Yes, when with the witch takes the power. So what happens? The jealousy and shame are powerful feelings for a succubus, making this their coping mechanism. That's how most of the bad behaviors are result of maladaptive behaviors. This is my coping mechanism. This is what I've had to do to survive these emotions. So they become the norm. And that's what we're seeing. This is how succubus, that's where the dark romance comes from. Succubus use their jealousy and power and fear of violence to take control. So that's how they act so nonchalant, because with control they can do this. And he thinks that it's because of their lack of emotion, when it's all the opposite. It's because of their emotions and the lack of control over their own emotions. They try to control others. So now we have a story that says much more than what it started saying at the beginning. We learned the monster's weakness, the importance. Now we have section for the plot, section 5. We learn the training montage, how to gain back their feelings. So we see that succubus succubus tries to reach with new confidence, making them unemotional. It's this connection, this new reach is going to be not good. And we see how, in a way, it works, no? But does it really? So how does this jealousy, and now that he's not jealous no more, how does this represent in the master part? Once they, okay, now they're not jealous, they're working on, yes, they can see themselves that they're not being jealous. That's helping them navigate the emotional connection. And now that they reached it, and it had to do before with the ring, no? So without the ring, and we're like, they connect, becoming the familiar and couple. So the succubus is nonchalant about the werewolf, and then werewolf feels unloved and not cared for because of nonchalant. And then we'll do the thing about the witch, that they get the ring from her, and when they discover the witch has their power. They discover the witch has their power, and they open up and win. We'll explain this better because it's explained through the other characters. So now we have the part of the MC, but we know that the MC goes through wonder on one side, and then we have the other. Do we want to do this in one single setting and do the both points of view, or we start with the other one in section 2 when we say so since this is 1, we can say that wait a minute, está get it, and it get down on bine ase big step up bomba pale pa. Okay, we have a werewolf, the night of the full moon. Werewolf can survive. So we know that for the full moon, this is happening. Do we want to start it in the same point, or we want to tell the stories in a different point? Let me think, because that will change a little bit the curse, the direction of the story. Or maybe not, because that's still happening. So here we can tell in section 2 the part of the desire, and okay, let's do that here, and then we just check each section in its place. So we know that this is one of the succubus and werewolf. The werewolf does the ritual to be able to be with the succubus, taking away her strength. And they don't know that the other one is the other thing, the strength. So we know that 3 is 3, 2. Okay, so 3 of the succubus makes a deal. Oh, no, that's the succubus. Werewolf. And then we see how the werewolf makes a deal with the witch. Three. Werewolf makes a deal with the witch to take away her power and be weaker. Okay, then we know that 4 is, we say that 4 is really 5. Did I say that? Yes. No, because this one is the second one. So we know that, why is this like this? I want to use that. So we have 1, 3, then we have 4, 5, 7, 8. Okay, 2, 1, 3, 4. No, what am I doing? Okay, 4. Was the 4 in the werewolf? The ritual will make the werewolf stronger. No. 4 is here. In 4, we have to talk about the werewolf's power makes the witch stronger. That's it. Then for 5 is also 5, and that's the, where is it? Succubus. Werewolf. We learned the coping mechanisms. We said, what are the coping mechanisms after being emotional, blah, blah, blah. Then without the strength is becomes more like a victim, like without that strength and that resiliency. Becomes needy and victimizing and self-victimizing and everything because they didn't express to each other. Then we have 7. What's the bad part about this one? Because we have that the werewolf becomes nonchalant, blah blah blah, and we see how things fit. We see the issues. It's multiple issues, but the main multiple issue is going to be that we know, as we were saying before, when was this? This makes her shady. That was the issue, no? So now since she doesn't have strength and she complains about everything, the werewolf has too many things to complain about, blaming the succubus for everything, lack of responsibility, no responsibility, of accountability. accountability. And then 7, this is where it ends with 8. And this is where werewolf loses their werewolf passes during ritual, passes because succubus doesn't care. And now you see how it started to take shape. Now each thing has its place, has its reason to be. And now the last one, we know that we go 1, 5, 7, and 8, because those are the most important, even though it says 1, 4, 5, and 8. That was a slight mistake. So we're going to, let's see. Actually, we're going to go eat soon, and we'll be back this later. That way we can let the story rest for a moment. Actually, let's just do the witch. Let's do the witch. Let's do the witch, and we'll be ready. The witch starts in 3. The story of the witch was, hey, where is this? Okay, the performing of the ritual on the night of Halloween, no, the Friday the 13th. Since we have to, what's this called? We have to hierarchize the holidays. We know that the most important one is the one that has the most elements, Halloween and full moon. Then the second one will be no, the first one is the full moon, the second one is Halloween, and the third one is Friday the 13th. So since the full moon is happening on Halloween, we're going to do those two together. Those are two happening at the same time. But the third one is happening previously. It's happening the 13th. So it's where everything started. So we have the witch, which performs the ritual to take their power on Friday the 13th to be able to be together on Halloween. Right? Then we have that. And after that, we have 5, because this is the enemy, right? So what is it that she does that's in her favor? Where is this? So the witch becomes the witch will use both powers to take over the family's wealth and power. Yes. And then we have 7. That's the pain. So then we say that she cannot control the power because this happens here. The witch can't control the power. It's too volatile, and with the extra power of the wolf, everyone gets hurt, including her. And ultimately, when witch displays aggression, jealousy, and all these traits, she becomes the queen of the dead, and not the queen of the dead, but comes the rightful head of the family, queen of the dead. And that's when the succubus, that gives them the chance to do blah blah, and gaining back their power. So I think we have a really beautiful story, and we'll continue writing it later, because I think we are very close to be ready to write. We're just we'll miss the places and the actual personalities of the characters, but that will appear later once we decide what's going to be more enhancing to the experience. So thank you very much for joining. We'll be back probably in couple hours at some time tonight, and later, sometime tonight, later at 5 p.m. 5 to 6:30 p.m. we'll be back writing the same story and getting it done by the end of the month, so we can give it to people to read and correct and all that stuff. So thank you very much for joining, for tagging along, reading with me, writing with me, and being part of this beautiful process. So enjoy the rest of your day. You tell me if this is working. You tell